Hi, it's Sherilyn, creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother. Wanted to check in with you today as promised and talk a little bit more with you about being responsible and telling yourself the truth. I mentioned something today on my Facebook post and it received a lot of reaction and response. Actually in the affirmative, but I still wanted to elaborate a little bit more about what it is that I meant and how it is that you can really free yourself from a self-imposed bondage that you have yourself in. Self-imposed emotionally, self-imposed physically, self-imposed financially, in every aspect of your life. You are holding yourself hostage if you are not telling yourself the truth, the absolute truth about your situation, about what it is that you bring to the table. So I want to talk about different predicaments that we're in, and that's not always to the negative. So I want to make sure that I show you both sides of it and what I mean with that. Yesterday I was talking with my daughter about an episode of Iyanla Fix Your Life that we saw, and it was the one about the man with the 34 children. And I was telling her how the pendulum was really swung into the court of the women. It ended up being a little bit more about the women than it was him. Certainly she helped him out and revealed a lot of things that he could do to improve himself. But she really went in on the women and really empowered them with how it is that they can change their lives going forward and how it is that they can make their now better. And one way that she did that is by kept telling them to tell the truth to themselves. And one of the truths that came out in this episode, which I thought was so very courageous of one of the young women, was that she wasn't sure if the kid was her, if the kid was the young man's, who she initially came on the show for. Now that she has shared that truth of the kid not being sure if the kid was really his, now she's able to deal with the truth or the reality of what she needs to do going forward. Now let me get a little bit more in detail about what it is that I meant. She came on the show and she had this very negative attitude about the situation she felt like she was in with the young man who she thought had fathered her child, who she said at the time had fathered her child, because of all these children that he had. And she didn't want to subject her child to the disappointment, I guess would be the word, of his dad not being there. So she just never told him about it. So what she was doing was really deflecting. She was putting off on him the reason why she hadn't told her child who his father was. Well, as the story fleshed itself out, like I said, as we saw in that follow-up episode, the truth was she wasn't really sure about who it was that the dad was. Well, I don't have any judgment for that. I'm really kind of a bottom line girl. And the bottom line in all of that is she was walking around telling other people, showing up on the show, really, it was a fallacy. It was really not the truth. Her being there was not fully revealed. The truth of her being there was not fully revealed. Her holding off that bit of information made it really look like she was a victim in that she just trusted herself with this young man. He took advantage of her emotionally, and from that a child was brought forth. Well, the truth is she doesn't really even know if it is his child. And in doing that, in her not telling a full truth, and a full truth in my opinion is a half truth in my opinion. It's just another nice way of saying lie. In her withholding her full truth from the audience member, because she really knew herself, but she had convinced herself enough, so much so that she actually went on TV under the aegis that this was this man's child, absolutely his child, and that he was the reason that she was withholding this information. In doing that, she ended up showing up and presenting herself to the world in a way that was not true. And what that does to her is that gives her something, and what that did to her was that gave her something to continue to have to live up to until she freed herself by telling the full truth of saying, I'm not quite sure. With that being said, now she's able to go on, find out for sure who the father of that child is, and move and act accordingly. That one break, that one free up, if you will, of her telling that truth is a ripple effect. It can be seen as or can be used as a ripple effect into freeing herself further and further into the life that it is that she wants. Once she finds out who the father of her son is, she'll be able to tell her son that truth, release whatever idea of what it is this father is supposed to look like for this kid, and face the reality of her situation, that she is at this point a single parent, and she has to take care of her child, and then she's able to move on into another area of her life. Who knows what that will open up, that freedom will open her up for, in terms of love and other happinesses that she can acquire and really just stand in. So with that being said, the question is tossed out to you to find out, what truth is it that you are withholding? Now, I truly believe the only lie you can tell is to other people, because no matter what, you know the truth. But I do believe that what you can do is push that truth down so far that you can make yourself believe something that you know, in the authentic sense of the word, is not true. Now, my question to others, and especially to clients and people I work with, is always, how's that working for you? How's that working for you? You don't need anybody from the outside to come in to tell you that something needs to be corrected. If we just really dealt with it in the true sense of that, in the true sense of help, or in the true sense of, what would be the word I'm looking for? If we just tell ourselves the truth, everything that we need is really living within us. Others, people like me, different coaches, motivational speakers, trainers, mentors, inspirational people in your life, they really are only nudging forward or tapping on what it is that you already know. And they inspire you to move forward with the authentic truth of who it is you are, whatever that looks like for you. So with that being said, when I tell my clients and people I work with and others, or when I ask them the question, how's that working for you? If you tell the truth of that situation, most times it's not working out to a way that works for you. You're too busy shuffling, trying to create an image that others will attract themselves to, that others will draw themselves to get the attention you want or what you need for the moment that you're in. But what I'm very interested in for you, for myself, and really for the world, is for long-term sustainable happiness, success, wealth, and abundance. I'm looking for a way to touch lives authentically. And that comes by teaching people to tell themselves the truth. Now, with that being said, the next step of telling yourself the truth, or let me back up, one of the things that I've learned that people see as a barrier for themselves in telling the truth to others is that they feel that they will be judged, is that they feel they will be ostracized or demeaned or looked at differently or looked down upon because they tell their truth. And what I'm here to suggest to you today, and really request of you strongly, is that you release the judgment of other people. Create a safe space for people to tell their truth. We have all have our own little red wagons to pull, is really how I like to say it. Just because our situation doesn't look like the person who's speaking or what they're talking about, we all have things that we can work on for ourselves that will make us better and really more into the person that we want to be. So we have no room, no time, and really shouldn't have the energy to judge other people. Let's create a space for one another that says to them, this is a safe place. You can tell me your truth. I won't judge you. And I'll still love you no matter what. So let's do that for one another. The other aspect I want to teach on, or the other part I want to teach on, is talking about what that does and what type of legacy or what type of things it is that you're teaching your children when you withhold the truth or only tell a half truth, or what I like to call it, lie. When you do that, what you do is you teach your children to push down the truth of who it is they are in order to create some fallacy of what others want you to be, of some level of acceptability, of some level of, you have them to create some level of, basically falsehood about who it is that they are. And you teach them that it's okay to basically lie in order to get what you want. And that's absolutely not true. Not only is it not true, it creates that stop and go pattern that I mentioned earlier when I told you I want you to have long-term sustainable success. We wonder why we're in predicaments where we get to a certain place, we get this momentum going, and then it stopped. Or we get this to this place and we get to going with all this good news and all of this, these good things happening, and then at some point it kind of crumbles. Now, life is a series of ebbs and flows and ups and downs, but one way that we can curve some of the downs that we have in our lives is by standing in our truth, being in integrity with ourselves, and really projecting that out into the world, no matter what it is that others think about it, say about it, or what would be the word I'm looking for? No matter what people think, say, or do, you have to live in the truth of who it is that you are. The other reason that I truly believe in being your full, authentic self and living in integrity is because when you're not, you're actually holding yourself hostage. I mentioned that earlier about your emotions, your finances, your physical well-being, things like that. When you are trying to keep up a lie, when you are trying to keep up something, some type of fallacy or some type of false image about yourself, for whatever reason it is, we can think of a number of excuses, but none of that really matters to the wellness when it comes to you being well and maintaining your wellness. When we hold up those type of fallacies about ourselves, we block love, we block truth, we block friendship, we block our financial blessings because we are not in integrity with ourselves. We are not in integrity with the world. So when we show up, people don't connect with you because we are energies. Each one of our beings, we are energy fields, and you connect. You can feel when somebody is lying. You can feel most times when somebody is not being authentic. You don't connect with that person, and so you don't end up communing with that person, be it socially or financially, in some type of business networking environment, and you certainly don't connect with them spiritually. There's just something about them that you don't connect with, and that is that person, and so you disconnect from them, be it literally or kind of physically, away from, or emotionally, away from them, and you are denying yourself a love or a relationship that was possibly there to flourish into something else. And it didn't have to be that way if you live in authenticity of who it is that you were. The other thing is it really holds us back from accomplishing our dreams. And when I say that, I know I talk about that often, of going after your dreams. And of course, your dream is that thing that you think about all the time. It's the thing that no matter what you're doing, you just can't seem to shake it. So I had this incident with myself where I was going after my dreams, and bottom line, the money was not coming in the way I wanted. And so I said, I just have to get a job because I need to do what I need to do in order to pay my bills, and I'll work this job and as well as work my dreams, and just et cetera, et cetera. Sure, somebody has been in that predicament before. Well, it was my intention to, okay, I'm going to put my dream on hold for the next couple of years, build myself up to where I need to be, and then I'll go back and revisit it. That was an absolute fail. Every single day I thought about what it was that I wanted to do, what my dream was for my life, what it was that I needed to do in order to be there. So I found myself up at 2, 3, and 4 in the morning working on my dream before I would head off to work, to my 9 to 5, to get me through the day, or to get me through the month, or to get me through whatever it was that I needed to get to in order to make it so that I created a space that I could just live fully from my dream. Well, if I was not living in integrity with myself, if I was not telling myself the truth about who it was that I wanted to be, who it was that I truly was, then I wouldn't even have the time to commit, to dedicate and put towards the dreams it is that I have. Because emotionally, I would be tied up in the lie that I was living and trying to uphold. I would have had an obligation at that point, once I put that lie out, to keep it going if I wanted to keep the things coming in my life that were happening, right? If I wanted to keep the friends that I had at the moment or the money that I was making, if I built that all on a lie, I got to keep that lie going if I wanted to keep the money rolling, keep the friends calling, keep the events popping, and I got to go out and do all those things. I needed to keep that. Well, if you're doing that, there's no way that you're living in integrity with your dream. So therefore, your dream is being pushed off each and every time that you deny yourself the truth of who it is that you are. That is what I meant when I said that when you tell yourself the truth, that is how you free yourself. When I said the only way that you can be free is by telling yourself the truth, that is exactly what I meant. For those reasons that I just mentioned those are the only ways that you can be free. Freedom doesn't come from anybody else but you. I certainly hope that I said something, or that this meant something to you, or you saw yourself in it and just saw some shift that you can make in your life, some kind of way that you can take what you heard or learned here and say, I can implement this in my life. I can make a difference. I can stop doing what it is that no longer serves me. I can stop being something that I never really wanted to be, and truly that I am actually not. I can stop and live in my truth. I'm good enough, I'm worthy, and I matter. I hope this helps somebody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.